We know that the Senate's come up with this bipartisan infrastructure plan, but now Speaker Pelosi.
Deal, no deal.
Deal, no deal. So, but they're saying now that there's going to be a two-track negotiation. It's a bipartisan and a budget reconciliation. What are your members saying about the fact that, yeah, they want a bipartisan package, but then there's going to be more money later on as a guarantee to make sure that both of those happen?
I think my members think they need a chiropractor because they got whiplash after watching the president yesterday say there was a deal, then say there was no deal, and say you can't have a deal of $1 trillion on infrastructure, but you got to vote for $5 trillion the same time too, and you got to raise taxes on everybody, and you've got to have a Green New Deal. I don't think that's going to work. I don't think that's going to pass, and I think they killed any opportunity. I think it was disingenuous in every shape or form. Manu, how are you? All right, I wrote down what I think your question is. Let me see if I get it right.
I wanted to follow up with the select committee, because last month you did say that you'd be willing to testify before an outside commission. Now that there is a select committee, would you be open to talk about your conversation with Donald Trump to a select committee?
Well, I don't know that there is a select committee. The speaker's never talked to me about it. She hasn't set the scope. She didn't tell me about it. I haven't seen anything, so I don't know what it is. I haven't seen anything voted on. I'll wait till I review what that is. The question that you're referring to asked if I would talk to you about it. I have no problem talking to anybody about it. I don't know what the conversations that day would matter as that's going on. What I think would really matter, especially if you read the report that bipartisan in the Senate has already done from 2 committees, it's the lack of taking knowledge that they had prior. And what did they do with that? That's what's caused a lot of the damage to this Capitol. That they had knowledge ahead of time. If the people in the parking structure knew, why didn't the Capitol Police know? If the intelligence had it, why didn't they pass it on? They didn't have the training. They didn't have the gear there for them. They didn't produce and warn people ahead of time. There is failure after failure. Why were there National Guards, a couple hundred, or about 160 some, but no weapons, patrolling the streets only from street signs, but not on the Capitol? Did someone deny the right of that coming from days before? Because they had meetings about it. Those are things that I think have to be answered. Some of that's answered in here, but I think it has to be fully answered. That is the only way you'll stop from happening what happened before. And for the idea, the speaker prior saying that the scope should be so narrow, we have an officer who gave his life on Good Friday. If you drive in the Capitol, you see his portrait. But we can't look at what caused that, because that was political as well, or what built up to this. Because I know in the 9/11 Commission, we looked at what built up all that time before September 11th. We watched what happened in the last summer. Did what happened in Washington, D.C. during the summer make somebody make a decision not to have the National Guard here to protect this building? That's a question that should be answered.